Hello and welcome to this instructional video course on Android development. In this series, we will cover the development of Android applications and components for the Android operating system. The Android operating system is the most popular mobile platform in the world. It is based off the popular Linux kernel, and in that vein, a majority of the Android software is licensed under the Apache Software License version 2.0. The latest version of Android operating systems run on a variety of devices, including smartphones, tablets, and more recently, smartwatches, interfaces for cars, and even televisions. The chip architectures of ARM v7, ARM v8a, x86, and MIPS are supported by Android for this plethora of devices. Android was started under the company Android Inc. in 2003, which was later acquired by Google in 2005. In order to fully participate in the material in this course, some requirements are necessary. These include downloading and installing a recent version of the Android SDK, or Software Development Kit, installing a Java runtime environment, installing and configuring an IDE for Android development, preferably either Eclipse with the ADT plugin or Android Studio. In this video series, we will mainly be using the Android Studio IDE. An Android device or Android emulator or simulator to run the example code and lab exercises for this video series, and also a basic knowledge of programming concepts and implementations. In this course, we will cover a wide range of topics. Firstly, we will continue with an introduction to the Android operating system and developing for the operating system, including preferred IDEs or integrated development environments. We will also cover how to write your first Hello World application for Android. We will then move into a Java crash course to cover basic Java programming concepts like objects and data types, loops and control statements, methods, arrays, and more advanced topics like polymorphism and inheritance. Once we complete the Java crash course, we will focus in on Android UI development, including how to design Android UI via the XML vocabulary, the many types of views, view groups, and layouts, event listeners, and placement mechanisms like margins and padding. After the basics of Android UI, we'll move on to the main application components of activities and their lifecycle. We will also cover how to switch between activities and the intricacies of intents and intent filters. We'll then move on to the more complex dynamic view components like list views and grid views, and also cover how to populate their data using your own custom adapters. Then we will take an in-depth look at the UI components of fragments and their relationship with their parent activities, including their life cycle and how to design applications for multiple devices. As the base of our Android application knowledge becomes more solid and we go into more advanced topics on user navigation, including the Android app bar, formerly known as the action bar, as well as the ins and outs of the activity backstack. We will then move away from the Android UI development and into the topics of data storage, learning how to store files on the Android device, save shared preferences between application restarts, and create and maintain local SQLite databases. On the topics of communication and networking, we'll cover several aspects of the Android networking stack, including HTTP requests, using JSONs in Android, and the Android WebView component. In the area of additional sensory information, we'll take a look at how to interact and collect data from built-in sensors on Android devices, including accelerometers, GPS, and gyroscopes. In more advanced graphical topics, we'll cover animations in Android, custom drawing of views, interaction with device cameras, and adding video and audio playback to Android applications. In our final section on this video series, we will cover some of the best practices for developing applications for Android, submitting applications to the Google Play Store, integrating advertisements into your applications, and how to prepare for future quizzes or interviews on the topics of Android. The lessons in this video series will be broken down to sections covering several lessons on related material. Each lesson will be covered in one or more instructional videos. After each set of related lessons, a lab exercise will be given to test your knowledge of the topics covered in those lessons. In addition, a solution for these lab exercises will be covered so that you can measure your progress and knowledge of the material. Welcome to this introductory course on Android development, and now let's begin.